Good moment.
And welcome to our daily contemplation and welcome to our backyard this morning. A little change up from the usual.
And it's so funny because this hexagram that we're contemplating has stillness as the divine gift. And we have to move around to find some stillness by the fountain. So stillness is not necessarily quiet.
Yes. So I'm Juna.
Sabine.
And we're from Synergy in Motion, all about living true to you and a life that makes your heart laugh. And so we're contemplating the 50-second hexagram of the I-Ching and through the eyes of gene keys and human design. And we're offering just an exploration of what we're doing with this beautiful hexagram called stillness. And what do we have today? We thought we would take it a little deeper than what we did yesterday and really explore this notion of stress, because collectively we're living in a soup of stress. Everybody's stressed out, and
Or a lot of people.
a lot of people are stressed out. And we just thought we would explore that a little bit by looking at the two dynamics that we go into, where it's really based out of fear, where we're the fear of not having enough, being enough, or doing enough, and we either feel like we have to over consume, and we just over consume and take in and take in and take in until we're basically frozen in fear. So it's fear motivated, and we take in and take in and take in till we're frozen, or we give and we give and we give and we give and we give till we're exhausted and fall down. Mm-hmm. So it's either the collapse or the overconsumption through fear of not having, being, or doing enough.
Mm-hmm. And you can see that by a lot of places and spaces being overcluttered, and the people within that overcluttered space being exhausted and not being really able to enjoy what they actually created.
Mm-hmm. Or just frozen because they're just paralyzed because they have a mountain of stuff to do or to get through, and just cannot even move.
And what I find very interesting about stress, it is like an energy that is present, like the weather, right? The weather is present all the time. This energy of stress and the fear of not doing enough, being enough, and having enough is just in the air. And we easily pick that up. But it is, as I said, like the weather. When it rains, you can dress accordingly. And you can still go outside and be in it. You always are in the weather.
So we're always in this, we're kind of living in this overconsumption and overgiving, that creates this stress. We're kind of living in that when we're tuned in to the collective.
And it's not about separating out, but being aware of what's actually going on.
I like that, dressing accordingly. Yeah.
And what I find is when something is a collective pattern and you're trying to solve it for yourself and you think it's all your fault, it's very difficult, because that doesn't work, because the issue is over here and you're trying to fix it here. When you actually acknowledge, hey, this is just an atmosphere that is present on the planet at this moment. Not for everyone, but it is present collectively. And the thing is, we project that onto each other as well. We expect of each other to have, to do, to be, and that reinforces that pattern. And to stop this for yourself, because that's the place where you can actually change it, is to just really go and look at where are you acting from those fears of not having enough, doing enough, and being enough.
And I really like what the projections and the expectations. So where have you projected and expected of you to have more, be more, do more, or that you're not having enough, so you have to do more, be more, have more, or you're projecting that and expecting that of other people and putting that on them, knowingly or unknowingly. So that is the one quality when you can really restrain from the projections and the expectations, and stop that and be still. Like, shut your mouth, like really be aware of that and pull back from having to project and expect that of yourself or other people.
And Richard Rudd has this flow where he always talks from a shadow and a divine gift, and moving from the shadow through a gift to the divine gift. And in this case is moving from stress to stillness through restraint. And the restraint sounds like what?
Sounds pretty horrible. Like in
It's
this
not
reality,
something
we
that-
don't want to restrain
Exactly.
anything, right? We want to be free.
But it's that restraint from acting out of fear. Right? And that is a discipline that not many people have practiced in this world. So really look at what is your underlying motivation, particularly in areas when you're stressed. Like let's take one of the hot topics, money, right? A lot of people actually require less money than what they think they need to live and to be happy. And they even think that they need money to be happy, which is a whole other topic that we can address. But do you have issues with money because you're expecting yourself to need more money than what you actually require? Play with that, and look at different areas. Or relationship. A lot of people think they have to find their one soulmate, but out of that fear that they are not enough by themselves. So check it out. Are you looking for a partner because you feel like you by yourself are not enough and you need that other person to complete you? All those areas are tremendous sources of stress and cause for burnout or collapse.
And it's interesting how it's born in expectation. Like people expect you to be in a relationship. They expect you to have a house or a car. They expect you, or you expect that of yourself. This is to be a normal adult. I expect this of myself. I expect that of other people. And what if you didn't have to have any expectations like that?
And instead of that, just take this moment right now and come home to yourself. Come to that sweet, nurturing, powerful space within you that is you. And in that space, just give yourself even more space to be you. There's one thing that you cannot mess up in this world, and that is being you. Whether you live true to you or you don't, doesn't matter. It's always you. So relax into that knowing. That's what you always have with you, is being you.
And there's that still point, that stillness that has the absence of stress and tension, where you can just relax into that pool of you. It is a real stillness, and there can be the movement. You can find that stillness within your daily activities, like, dress accordingly. You can be with that stillness and still be you and do your activities.
And just really let that knowing ripple out through all your body, through all of who you are. Oh, hey, it's okay. Boom. I am me. Whether that is true to me or not is a whole other story, but you're always you. You can relax into that. And then from that space of being you, just look at different dynamics in your life. Am I acting out of fear, or am I really being true to me? And that's where your magical life begins, when you actually make those choices. Right? Whether you choose fear or true to you is irrelevant, but you're making the choice. You're starting to become aware. That's where the magic sparks.
And yesterday it was taking a moment, and taking that moment, tuning into the stillness of you before you take action, before you speak, before you do, before you purchase. Just take that moment.
And again, as you can hear around here, stillness doesn't mean quiet. So
That would be silence.
Exactly. That stillness can be very active. So even in the most turmoil situation within you, you can find that still point, right? The eye in the storm. And then you do your dance of living.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, taking a moment of stillness with you. And even though stress may be all around, and just letting go of those projections and coming home to yourself. Thank you for doing that today and being you, that beautiful gift that you only you are. And remember, with the stillness within, with the magic and the true to you, you are creating a whole new world today. Happy Friday and enjoy the weather.
And dress accordingly.
We'll see you tomorrow at Synergy in Motion.
Bye.
Bye.